Good afternoon, Wendy. Congratulations on your recent promotion to Vice President of Operations. From everything I've seen over the last year, it is incredibly well deserved. You have been selected to be our first featured employee of the month in our new corporate digital email that will be going out monthly. So if you don't mind, I'd like to ask a few questions and have you share your experience with the greater body of the Coronis company empire here. Is that okay?
Sure, so that's great. I'm really excited.
Excellent. First of all, I'd like to get a little idea of your background. You know, how did you get from where you were to here?
Well, it's a bit of an interesting story. So about 24 years ago, I was young, going to school, going to college, and was supplementing my income by working for an anesthesia billing company in Eastern Washington. My next step in life was eventually to go to medical school. I wanted to be an anesthesiologist. And so the billing company that I worked for had a little tiny office in Bellevue, Washington. And I thought that with my eventual goals and to further my education, it would be good to be closer to the big city. So I moved over and worked with this special client of this old billing company. And one day, the owner of SupportMed walked in the door and we were being recruited. So that anesthesia group changed billing services to SupportMed. And SupportMed recruited me and one other person to their team. That was 19 years ago. So I've been with SupportMed for 19 years, and 1 year of that has been with Coronis now.
Wow, thank you for your service. That's incredible. It's really exciting. And, you know, I too have a very similar story to that as well. I just kind of stumbled into this thing, and the longer I stayed, the more fun I had. And here we are today. Something I found incredible, you know, Coronis has partnered with 14 other specialty companies over the last 7 years. SupportMed, which is now the Coronis Anesthesiology Group, has not lost a single client. How on earth did you do that?
SupportMed has a Nordstrom customer service approach to clients. And if some of you may not know who Nordstrom's is, I would think most people do, but their customer service ideology is the customer gets what the customer wants. And so our services are tailored to what our clients have asked for. Their reporting is unique to them. Many of our anesthesia groups come to us just starving for some special attention in regards to their practice and metrics. And we're able to provide that for them. And also, all of our clients have direct access with our management team, our executive team. And I think they appreciate that. And we may make an error sometimes, off and on, you know, it's natural. But when we make an error, we address it, we own it, and we correct it immediately and report back to the client. And they appreciate that. And they understand that we're human, but they appreciate the sensitivity that we acknowledge those types of situations. Every anesthesia practice that we have brought on typically has come from another company that hasn't done a great job. And in every one of those instances, we've increased revenue quite substantially for those groups. And just those results as a team is quite rewarding.
Thank you. I love the bit that you said about, I guess I'll put it in how I heard it, which is you own the problem like you created it. And the customers can sense that. And they said, you know, whether or not it is our problem, You own it and you're going to go fix it. And I'm sure that's why they stick with you, which is absolutely fantastic. Also, at Coronis, a big benefit we want our employee teams to understand is that you're now part of a much larger organization that is actively seeking out talent in all the businesses we look for. And for those who are interested, there's an ability to rise up and spread out across the company. And, your career profile, if you want one, is almost unlimited at Coronis versus just working for a smaller company. Can you tell me from a management style, what are your top 2 or 3 key principles that you adhere to on a daily basis working with your teams?
I'd like to start out by just explaining a quick story from many years ago. And that was from an old company that I worked for. And they had gathered about 50 employees or so in this large room. It was a consulting company they brought in to try and give some new ideas and bring insight into how the company is doing. And my takeaway from that experience was the main manager of that company had said to the entire room that the biggest expense in their company was the cost of staff. And I thought that was just terrible for staff to hear. And while it's true, staffing is expensive, but since that day, I've always carried with me that staff and your team is your greatest asset. It's the greatest part of the company. They are who and what makes us successful. So I take that principle through my day to day. I want everybody of my team to feel appreciated. I want to be honest with them, great integrity. I want to get to know them. I want to know them somewhat on a personal level so that they feel like they matter. And while I'm certainly not perfect, I can tell you that my management skills have been taught to me by my team. They have taught me how to be the manager I am today. And they are the biggest reason for our success. I like to be sure to have fun and be silly at work. I like to laugh. Everybody loves silliness. I might do some really weird things, but it's so rewarding to see people smiling and laughing at work. Nobody wants to come in and not have fun. So I make that a big part of the day-to-day. And truly, this year has been really difficult because of COVID. And so a lot of staff are remote. So it's really hard to have fun. I can tell you that since we have gone into our team's environment here with Coronis, that we have these little gift messages that we can send to people with these little cartoons and whatnot. And that's fun. It's a small way to be able to reward your team and just let them know that, hey, we're thinking about you. We're here. We appreciate you.
Well, thank you. Maybe you should paint a smiley face on your face mask as well. Thank you, Wayne. Thank you for sharing that with us. Since joining Coronis and morphing from support med to Coronis Behavioral Health, that's just a name change. From your position, what have you seen change since you joined Coronis?
So I appreciate that. So we've been with Coronis for about a little over a year now, and we have been able to retain our normal day-to-day processes. We have our same level of excellence that we strive for, our same relationship with our clients, and but we have gained some assistance in our day-to-day as far as recruiting, HR services, payroll services. Being that we're a small company, all of that was handled here locally, and it's nice to get some help in that way. A big change and a positive change is that now we have access to more staffing resources and to be able to recruit from out of the area and have some backup when we need to have that backup, a little bit more of a bigger team to help when we may need help.
Excellent. This is a hard one. What does the future look like?
The future looks bright. I'm really excited. We have some growth coming up for our team. We have just an amazing programming team here within our division that is programming a stellar product in our shop for coding and inputting of charge records that will allow our existing staff to be able to be more auditors instead of necessarily doing some steps that they don't need to do. It is really incredible what can happen when you put an end user in the room with a programmer. That combination of talent really has shown to be a big plus here, and I really have to commend our programmers here. They really have done a great job. So with that said, our next year is really going to be building on this automated process. And we're looking to get some additional staffing through some of our Coronis resources. And we're also really excited to have the marketing team of Coronis be able to potentially drive more business our way and be able to expand a bit.
Fantastic. Everybody out there in Coronis land watching this, Wendy is an example of what good looks like for our organization. That's why we chose Wendy to be the featured employee for January, our first digital edition of the Coronis newsletter. Congratulations on being one of our newest and best minted Vice Presidents of Operations, Wendy. Keep it up. We're excited to work with you in 2021. And you go on and have a good holiday. Take care. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.